Hello, my friend. I'm Paul. Welcome to Night of Tales, a quiet refuge for imagination and dreams. Set aside your worries, as tonight we journey together through worlds of magic, mystery, and wonder. Lie back, relax, and let the tales carry you away. Long ago, when the world was young, the sea watched the land very closely. There lived a man named Kiviuq, one of the sea people by the Great Western Strait. His people were skilled in the hunting ways. They knew the moods of the ice. They knew the secret paths of the seal. They knew the patience the sea demands. Kiviuq was strong and swift. His eyes were sharp as the sea eagle's. The sea eagle rides the cold northern wind. Yet for all his skill, Kiviuq was slow to speak. His heart was heavy with a silence. That silence ran deeper than the winter sea. Kiviuq's father had been a wise hunter. He had once seen the northern lights dance. They danced in the shape of a great seal and a polar bear side by side. The old man taught Kiviuq to throw the harpoon. He taught him how to read the ice. He taught him how to speak to the spirits with respect. He taught him how to offer the first portion of each catch to the sea. He taught him how to sing the old songs at the turning of the seasons. The sea, the old man said, does not give its gifts freely. It weighs the heart of the man before it gives him meat. When Kiviuq was still young, his father died. The sea took him while he was hunting. A sudden storm came. The villagers said the sea had taken him because he had grown too proud. They said he had forgotten to give thanks after a good catch. Kiviuq was not sure if this was true. He knew that something had changed. The sea no longer seemed to him as a friend. It seemed like a vast, ancient presence. That presence could not be fully known. He began to walk apart from the others. He sat long hours on the shore. He watched the ice drift southward. The village was small, but it held many voices. The elders remembered the old ways. The young men grew restless. The long, dark winters were hard. The spring always came, but slowly. Food was scarce that year. The ice had come late. The seals were thin. The walrus had not come close to the shores as they once had. The villagers grew hungry. Distrust grew with the hunger. They whispered that Kiviuq brought bad luck. They said he had angered the master of the sea. He had refused to join a hunting party once. That party had returned with no catch at all. Kiviuq paid little heed to the whispers at first. He knew that the sea gives or withholds. No man can fully control it. But the elders grew stern. They said that if a man carries the anger of the spirit, he must be sent away. He must be sent away until the sea forgives him. Kiviuq listened quietly. He did not speak. In the end, the elders decided that he would be given a kayak. He would be given a small store of food. he would be sent out to the outer islands. He must live alone until the sea turned kind again. So it was done. In the pale light of early spring, the sun had not yet fully returned. The land had not fully shed its winter sleep. Kiviuq was given a boat. He was given a light spear. He was given a few dry fish. He was given a sealskin bag of water. His wife, Aura, said nothing. Her eyes were wet with unshed tears. Their 2 children, small and solemn, stood close to her. They looked at him with a fear that had not been there before. Kiviuq touched his son's head and his daughter's hand. Then he stepped into the kayak without a word. The elders stood back, watching from the shore. The village fell into silence. He pushed himself into the gray water and turned his bow toward the open sea. He rowed for 3 days. He passed the familiar rocks and bays. He went beyond the place where the tide made a strong current between 2 headlands. He went on into the region of the outer islands. The sea was cold and restless. The wind was biting. The sky was often low. The light was thick. It was as if the world were wrapped in a veil. Kiviuq chose a small island. It was not too far from the main strait. It had a high ridge. It had a narrow beach where the waves rolled in slowly. There he dragged the kayak ashore. He built a low shelter of stones and driftwood. He lived there as best he could. At first, he hunted as he had always done. He watched for the breathing holes of the seal. He set his lines. He waited through the long hours of silence. But the sea was not kind to him. The seals were few. Those he saw seemed wary. They slipped away before he could draw near. His lines yielded little. The fish he caught were small and thin. The food he had brought began to run low. The cold seeped into his bones. Hunger grew. With it grew a kind of loneliness. That loneliness had no words. One night, in the deep winter, the sun had not risen for many days. The land lay under a long, heavy darkness. Kiviuq sat in his shelter, wrapped in the skins of a seal he had taken months before. Outside, the wind moaned around the rocks. The sea beat against the shore with a slow, steady rhythm. He was half asleep or half awake. Then he became aware of a presence near the entrance. He opened his eyes. He saw nothing. Still, he felt eyes upon him. He felt a silence that was not of the wind. He sat up. His heart beat slowly. In the dim light of the small oil lamp, he saw a shape standing outside. It was framed by the darkness. It was neither man nor animal, but something in between. It was tall. Its form looked like a man wrapped in a bearskin. But its face was broad and had the strong lines of a bear's face. Its eyes were yellow. They held a light of their own. They were like the eyes of the walrus under the sea. The beast man stood very still. The wind did not touch its skin. Kiviuq did not move. He did not cry out. He had heard of the master of the animals. He had never expected to see him. He knew that the spirit, whom some call Nanook, guardian of the seals and the great beasts, does not appear to the proud or the greedy. He appears only to those who have learned the way of silence. After a long time, the being spoke. Its voice was deep. It was like the sound of the sea from deep under the ice. But it was not angry. It whispered, "Come outside. I would speak with you, child of the sea people." Kiviuq rose slowly. He took his heavy skin cloak. He stepped out into the cold. The wind was fierce. The spirit did not seem to feel it. It turned its face toward the sea. The ice stretched far into the dark. It said quietly, "This is a hard time for your people. The sea grows thin. The seals are afraid. The people are hungry. Many of them no longer speak to the sea with respect. They see only meat, not life." Kiviuq looked out over the ice. He said sadly, "I have hunted as I was taught. I have left the first portion. I have sung the old songs. Yet the sea gives me little." The spirit turned to him. "And still you do not curse the sea. You do not cry out against it. You sit in silence. You wait. Why is this so?" Kiviuq thought before he answered. He said quietly, "Because I fear that if I curse the sea, I will lose my place. I am a man of the sea people. Without the sea, I am nothing. And if I cry out, I may forget that the sea is not mine, but I am the sea's." The spirit watched him for a long time. Then it answered, "You have a quiet heart. That is rare among men. Many come to the sea with loud voices. They have knives and hooks. Few come with a heart that can listen. For this, I will speak to you." It stretched out a hand. In the palm, a small light appeared. It was like a tiny seal made of ice and moonlight. It told him, "This is the seal of light. It is not meat. It cannot be eaten. It is memory. It is the seal of the first time. The first time when the sea gave life to the animals and to the people. When you look upon it, you will see the truth of the seal, not as prey, but as kin." Kiviuq looked at the small, glowing seal in the spirit's hand. He felt no fear. He felt only a deep stillness. It was as if he were standing at the edge of something very old. The spirit said to him, "Take this seal. Carry it with you. When you return to your people, you will find that many will not believe. They will say it is a trick. They will say it is a dream or madness. But you must speak and you must show. Because the sea is not only a storehouse of food, it is a living world. The people who forget this will be forgotten by the sea." Kiviuq reached out. He took the seal of light. It was cool, but not cold. It pulsed with a soft light, like a heartbeat under the ice. "Listen to the silence," said the spirit. "Learn from the animals. When you speak of them, speak as if you were speaking of your own flesh. This is the way of the sea people. This is the way the sea will remember you." Then the spirit turned. It walked toward the sea. As it stepped onto the ice, its form began to change. The bear's shape faded. For a moment, in the dim light, Kiviuq saw a great polar bear. It was white as the ice. It walked slowly over the frozen sea. Then the wind rose. The shape was gone. Only the sound of the waves remained. Kiviuq returned to his shelter. He sat for a long time. He held the seal of light in his hands. He did not sleep that night. He sat in the dark. He looked at the little seal. In its glow, he began to see things. He saw the birth of the first seal. It was born of the sea and the cold. It was shaped by the breath of the world. He saw the long migrations. He saw the slow breathing under the ice. He saw the way the seal mother suckled her young. She suckled them in the hidden caves beneath the floes. He saw the moment when the first human had taken a seal. He saw how the sea had wept and then forgiven. The man had wept with it. He saw how the people had once lived in balance. They brought neither too many nor too few animals. They always gave thanks. But he also saw how, over time, the balance had slipped. He saw men who took more than they needed. He saw men who killed not for food but for pride. He saw men who forgot the songs and broke the rules. He saw the sea grow angry. The animals grew scarce. The people grew hungry and afraid. When morning came, the seal of light still glowed in his hand, but the world outside was still dark and cold. Kiviuq understood that he could not stay. The spirit had spoken. He had a task. It was time to return. He gathered what little he had: his kayak, his spear, the few skins and tools that remained. He wrapped the seal of light in a small pouch of seal bladder. He tied it around his neck. He began the long journey back to his village. The journey was long and hard. The sea was rough. The ice was shifting. It was full of cracks and unstable leads. He rode slowly. He often stopped to rest on the ice. He listened to the sounds beneath him. He watched for danger. He did not hunt much. He had little strength. He ate only what he had brought. When that was gone, he ate a few lichens and some thin fish he caught near the shore. But he was not alone. Though he saw no one, he felt a presence. It was as if someone walked beside him in the silence. Sometimes, in the stillness of the night, he thought he heard a low growl. It was like that of a bear, but he never saw it. He knew that Nanook, the Great Bear Spirit was watching over him. He was guiding him back. Kiviuq did not fear. He only went on. As the days passed, the land began to change. He recognized the cliffs and the bays that he had known as a child. The air grew warmer. The ice began to break up in places. Birds returned. He saw the first signs of the people. Smoke rose from chimneys. The tracks of sleds were deep in the snow. When he came near the village, he did not approach at once. He stayed on the outer shore. He waited. He watched. He saw that the people were thin. Their faces were drawn. The children no longer ran through the snow as they once had. The hunting boats were few. Those who returned often came back with little. The elders sat in silence. The young men spoke of moving to other lands. In those lands, the sea was said to be kinder. Kiviuq waited until the night before the spring festival. On that night, he entered the village quietly. He did not come as a hero. He did not come as a conqueror. He came as a man who had been away and now returned. He walked to the long house. The people gathered there for the feast. He stood at the door. At first, the people did not know him. He was thin. His skin was weathered by the sea and the wind. His eyes were full of a deep stillness. Then Aura looked up. Her face changed. She rose and came to him. After a moment, she touched his face. She did it as if to make sure he was real. He did not speak. He took from beneath his skin and showed them the seal of light. The people gathered close. The elders looked at the small, glowing seal. The young men stared at it with wonder. One old hunter, who had once rode with Kiviuq's father, asked, "What is this?" Kiviuq spoke slowly. His voice carried far, though he did not raise it. "This is the seal of light. It is not meat. It is memory. It is the seal of the first time. The first time when the sea gave life to the animals and to the people. I have seen what happens when the people forget this. The sea grows thin. The animals grow afraid. The people grow hungry and proud." He told them of the spirit who had come to him. He told them of the bear with a man's shape. He told them how the spirit had spoken of respect and balance. He told them of the visions he had seen in the seal's light. He told them of the migrations. He told them of the births. He told them of the way the sea mourned when an animal was taken without meaning. He told them how it rejoiced when a man took only what he needed and gave thanks. The sea is not a storehouse. It is a living world. The seal is not only food. It is kin. When we hunt, we must hunt not with greed, but with reverence. We must take only what we need. We must always remember that without the animals, we would be nothing. Many listened in silence. Some were moved. but others were not so sure. The young men asked, "If we take only what we need, how will we grow fat? How will we have enough for our children?" Kiviuq answered, "The sea does not give to those who grow fat on greed. It gives to those who listen, those who know the balance, those who respect the life they take. If you break the old ways, the sea will send you hunger. If you return to them, the sea will return to you." After that night, Kiviuq was not the same man. He spoke only when he had something to say. He did not argue with those who doubted, but he began to teach the young men. He taught them not only the old hunting skills, he taught them the old songs. He taught them the proper ways of offering. He taught them the meaning of the silence between the sea and the shore. He told them how the seal chooses which man to follow. It is not because of his strength. It is because of his heart. He taught them to listen to the breathing of the animals under the ice. He taught them to read the signs of the sea. He taught them to speak to the spirit with humility, not with loud cries. Slowly, the people began to change. They took fewer animals. They left more of the first catch for the sea. They sang the old songs again. The elders nodded. The children began to learn the stories once more. In time, the sea grew kinder. The seals returned to their old places. The walrus came closer to shore. The people no longer feared the long winters as much. They did not grow rich, but they grew strong in another way. They grew strong in the strength of respect and memory. Kiviuq lived many years. When he died, the people did not speak of him as a great hunter. They spoke of him as a man who had learned to listen. They said that on clear nights, when the northern lights dance, you can sometimes see a great white bear walking over the ice. Those who look closely say that a small light, like a seal made of moonlight, glows somewhere near him. They say that the seal of light still exists. It is not only for Kiviuq. It is for any man or woman who can sit in silence, who can look at the sea and the animals not as meat, but as kin. They say that the sea remembers those who respect it. They say that even the fiercest winter cannot last forever when the people remember the old ways. They say that on certain nights, when the northern lights stretch like great curtains across the sky, Nanook still walks the far ice. The great bear's form moves with slow strength. Near his shoulder, a small light travels. It is calm and steady, like the glow of a lamp well tended. Some believe this is the same light that Kiviuq once held. Others say there are many such lights now, carried by all who have learned to listen. Whether one believes this or not, the story remains. It passes from mouth to mouth. It crosses the space between one winter and the next. It lives in the simple act of a hunter who takes only what he needs. It lives in the hand that places a slice of meat back upon the snow and thanks. It lives in the quiet pause before stepping onto unknown ice. The sea remembers, the people say. The ice remembers. The animals remember. And as long as someone, somewhere, sits in the dark and tells a Kiviuq of Nanook and of the small seal made of light, the world itself remembers.